Oh, dude. Ah, he's throwing it back at him. Here we go. Oh, it's gonna make me cry, dude. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Hope y'all having a good day. It's early in the morning here. I'm back at my early morning grinds. Well, I should say back to it. First day, hopefully, of many days to be back in the early morning grind. I've been slacking, y'all, with my upload or my recording schedule. It's been all over the place. You know, for any of y'all who've been here for a long time, you know that historically I've recorded like before I have work in the mornings. So I'm getting up quite early to do that, and I'm looking a little tired in the videos, but that's what has to be done to get the videos done. Nowadays, I'm like recording a lot more on the weekends, but I don't know, man. I usually doing like 2 videos in a day, like, you know, I guess that's like 4 episodes is kind of my threshold, especially with like doing review sections and stuff, because I usually do that right after. That takes about an hour and everything, so you know, usually that's kind of my threshold. And so doing it daily on the mornings before work is always a little bit better. And also I can usually get a bit more done too. And it keeps me accountable. I can actually be a responsible adult getting up early and getting ready before work. Let me know what y'all's schedule is. If y'all are morning people or you usually do like your extra stuff or your hobby stuff in the evenings. I feel like in the evenings, I'm always like, just like out for the count. I'm like, I don't want to do anything, nothing. But anyways, y'all, Shippuden has been rocking it, man. The wars so far, I really like the last episodes with the reanimation. I'm curious how much more we're gonna get of this. I assume a lot more with how much Kabuto has reanimated with all these characters that we have heard about or have met. Just so many interesting matchups that could happen here. So let's go ahead and get into it, though. If y'all enjoy it, drop a like for me, comment, subscribe, all the good YouTube shit. I appreciate it. And let's go ahead and watch some Shippuden together. Yeah, it looks like the Nine Tails himself. Yeah, I want to see what Naruto looks like this. Dude, that's so dope. Dang. Oh. Ah. Looks like my little nine-tail cat I got. Doesn't have to use all his brain power to understand. Man, I can't wait to see Naruto fighting in this form. More diagrams. So that's why he was so tired after. Yeah, this is definitely a big risk, man. I feel like they should have told this from the start. I was wondering about that, yeah. Lot to think about, Naruto.
まあよ、移住玉は諦めろ。あの必殺技をさらに鍛えた方がまだマシだ。
それってどんな術だ？
何簡単だ。己のチャクラを形態変化させて血に溜めて圧縮。これを放つだけ。
Yeah. We've seen the Ninetales do that themselves.
ちょうどゲロを
Just as violent.
ならこのモードのままやってみる。この感じが。
Oh my god, you're kidding.
移住化してないと無理だ。
螺旋岩は影分身しねえとできねえからこのモードは向いてねえよ。チャクラの放出係と回転圧縮してとどめる形態変化の係の2人分の手が必要で。
移住チャクラ前の手足と同じ感覚、本物の手足と錯覚。
なるほど。な感じかな。
なかなか上出来。とりあえずあの必殺技をやってみろ。まずはでかい。
Yosh.
螺旋岩。
Oh.
これは回転圧縮してとどめる形態変化の。
Oh, dude.
その術、美獣玉とそっくりだぞ。
Once again, Naruto's gonna come up with his own kind of unique jutsus in this.
術誰に教わった？こトンチキ野郎。
5000人が。ああ。
No, Pervy Sage.
でも術を作ったのは4代目ホカゲだけどもさ。
He could do it with one hand.
おかげ。なんて偶然だ。運命
Huh? Does he know the fourth?
とそっくりのやり方。共通。ここに考案された術、螺旋岩だったんだ。美獣玉を託すためかのごとく。強運。
Damn.
移住化してやると簡単だが、回転を加えて安定を増してる仕方。
ただの螺旋岩みてえにうまくいかね
移住チャクラプラスの青チャクラの2つが合わさってる。
I mean, didn't Naruto separate out the chakra forms within Naruto for the for the Ninetale itself? But I remember that, like him only taking half of it and putting it into Naruto.
バランスを2対8にすると玉になる。
Ooh.
赤が 9.5 で青が 0.5 になっているぞ。
He'll get it. He'll get it.
チャクラとか数字がどうとか言われてもよくわかんねえ。
So he needs Kakashi Sensei.
この螺旋岩重くって両手で支えねえとすぐに乱れちまうから、そんな細けいこと気にしてらんねえ。体で覚えるタイプだからよ。だからこの美獣螺旋岩できるまで何度もやりまくってもの。
That's how it's done.
人間では無理があるな。重労働少し休め。両手の傷が術の半島。
細けいことは気にしてらんねえっつっただろ。タコのおっさんが2対8になるよう見てて。
Yeah, he's all by feel, man. This is exactly how I learned too. I'm so bad at like just consuming information, like when people say it like verbally. I have to do it. I have to get my hands on it.
まだ生きているよ。
この女はオロチマル様の呪印に適合し、オロチマル様のチャクラを体内に持っている。
He wants to get more of her or more of a Orochimaru.
この女は俺たちのアジトの正確な場所と入り口を見ている。
生きたままオロチマル様のチャクラを吸い取り回収する必要がある。僕の体はオロチマル様の体といっても、僕自身の力を向上させるためには絶対。そうすれば江戸天聖を縛る力も強くなる。それとさらに重要なのは、この術は生きた人間の体を使う。この女を生かしておくのはそういうことだ。
He wants to use it to reanimate someone else too, or
になるだろう。違うかい。
今日の友は明日の敵かもしれん。お前の利でこちらが不利になる可能性もある。
yeah, Madara does not trust Kabuto at all.
むしろ
江戸天聖の術、それが本当に生きた体を使うのか、ここで証明しろ。この術のすべてをここで説明してもらう。もちろん止め方もだ。
嫌だと言う。
お前の欲しいものは一生手に入らない。欲しいものが別なものに自分自身の命だ。
ここでリンネガンを相手にするのはまずいな。僕にもまだ切り札がある。焦ることもない。いいだろう。だがここには生贄にする者はいない。この女は使えないと言ったよね。
Oh.
その人たちは確か
断蔵の犬だ。捕らえた時からずっとシャリンガンによる幻術をかけて。
She. Ooh, he just killed him?
容赦ないですね。
Damn, bro.
術の用意はしてやる。今俺が殺したこいつをこっちのやつを使って江戸転生しろ。
I feel like I'm watching a little like chess game, them just like making moves on each other.
はじめに言っておく。これは口寄せの術に分類される浄土からこの世江戸に口寄せをするが得らせたい人間の一部一定量の肉体が必要だ。
Okay, so there's like DNA or yeah, like their blood.
さらに魂が浄土にない。つまり魂そのものを別の場所
Okay, so you couldn't like yeah do like the first or second again.
かつてオロチマル様は
Oh, it was the fourth.
しようとして失敗した。
Oh, so it wasn't even that the third Hokage stopped him. I always thought that the third like stopped it from appearing by like, you know, like using some chakra or something on it, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so first, second, and fourth are off limits now. Beyond reach.
代と二代目を道連れにしている。
初代から4代目まで江戸天聖は
Yeah, and the third, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Because this soul's there in the Reaper too.
いくつも転生させたけど
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part.
やるのは大変だったよ。それってつまり死体さん
That's exactly what you are, Kabuto. A lowly grave robber.
なくて誰だか分かりゃしない。失敗作もいくつも作った。
これが十式か。
こうやって生きた人間を死んだ者の魂の器にする。そうすれば江戸天聖の完成だ。
Damn.
この術は忍び世界において最大最強の術と言っていいよ。二代目ホカゲが考案し、オロチマル様が完成。
Not perfected, but it's wild that the second Hokage was the one who came up with it. It just seems like something a Hokage wouldn't do, but maybe it was before he was a Hokage.
蘇った者は生前の能力が戻り、さらに死ぬことなく僕の命令に従うコマともちろん陸道のリンネガンやイタチのシャリンガンのような希少な能力もそのままに。内葉止水の死体はどこにもなかったし、ジライアの死体は人の入れない水圧の深海の中。肝臓の右目や陸道ペインたちの武器にならまだ彼らの個人情報物質がそれなりに残る。
図に乗るな。
まあいいね。もう手駒は十分か。
これだけつ
This ideal.
何かリスクがあるはずだ。
何よりこの術の素晴らしいのは10社に何のリスクもないことだ。ほんとさ、江戸天聖の
Has no risk, actually.
いや、一つだけあったかな。あまりに素晴らしく強い術のためが世間の隅々まで行き渡る。
Ah, he's throwing it back at him. Here we go.
インテリの僕はそんなこと望んでないんだよ。
Pissed him off.
図に乗るなと言って全てに反動が気を抜かずにいること。
この術のリスクがあるとすれば、君に話してしまっていることがリスクさ。
Dude, I've always loved how they like come out of the coffins. So cool.
じゃあそろそろ僕も行くよ。インテリは陰気なところが性に合うんだ。
待て、まだ江戸天聖の術の止め方を聞いていないぞ。
あ、そうだったね。忘れるところだ。この術は10社を殺したとしても止まることがない。ならどうするか。何、簡単さ。江戸天聖を操っている僕を操り、犬、馬、虎の印で介をして止めればいいのさ。例えば君のシャリンガンとかでね。あとは江戸天聖たちの魂を封印するとかかな。
それが本当だといい。
A wild dynamic, y'all.
もう行くよ。
He's hiding more.
僕は無敵だ。いずれは陸道仙人の真理を僕が解き明かしてみせる。
あいつに白絶の胞子はつけてある。
もちろんだ。
なら黒絶。お前は
Man, these little schemers, man. If only they were actually worked together, how strong they would be. I guess it's better for us.
感知し損なうところだった。大軍が地下を通ってきている。パンチ位置をもっと下へ広げるぞ。こちら連隊の足元を素通りしてくるつもりだ。5連隊の後ろを取るつもりか。と飛んで掘り起こせ。すぐにキツチに連絡じゃぜ。
Dude, this is crazy. What a... Oh!
このことを連絡だ。来た。
Damn, bro. They got a whole, like, communications network. Hey, war is, like, half logistics, right?
兵庫25の30。地中です。そう来た。
Oh, man, yo, I just got goosebumps. I'm getting excited. Damn. Oh! What the heck? That looks so wild. It's an eruption of Zetsus. And you know they're all gonna live through that, right? They're all just gonna fall around them. Oh, crazy, man. Cool. Really cool getting more of the reanimation. I feel like we've been due for that for a little bit here. But yeah, like you need the like DNA basically and a live sacrifice. I feel like Kabuto didn't tell everything about it still. Like he didn't reveal the weakness of how people's souls can kind of detach from the world like we saw last time with Sai's brother and Sasori and whatnot. So, but it does seem like we at least have like the fundamentals of it. Really cool to actually see it. And I don't know, man. It's just like such like a, I feel like at this point in the show, Reanimation Jutsu is like such like a core jutsu of this series. Like every time I think about classic Naruto, I think of Orochimaru and summoning the first and second Hokage. So it's like one of my favorite points in that show.
現場の感知部員が感知できぬとは人間ではないでござる。
Like can't detect something that's not human?
第二部隊キツチに一番近いいくつか
Oh my god, that's a lot.
急げ。
Oh. They've got control of the skies.
よし、奇襲部隊だ。行くぞ。この術も気に食わねえ。
And ZABUZA.
つがい2組で飛びます。餌を協力して取るためです。子供を育てる冬の時期だけとして雲に紛れてののろし。間違いなく攻撃してきた相手は僕に任せてください。
Oh no.
技術魔境表彰。
Ooh. Guess they got anti-air and HAKU. Damn, smooth move there. They're in trouble.
子供ばっかじゃない。
死なない体か相打ちでいいってことか。
経験から忍びばっかだ。
All of them? There we go. Of course it's Kakashi. Oh, it's gonna be an interesting reunion for these ones. I wonder how ZABUZA will feel about Kakashi.
戦うことになるのは分かってるが、まさかお前だとはな、カカシ。俺は地獄に行くはずだった。気がつくと、はどうやら地獄でも天国でもないらしい。
Yeah, it's worse.
お前たちは江戸天聖の術にかかっている。おお、大きな。忍ぶかのくぬいち、あの小僧は元気。
Naruto. Just the prettiest boy in the world.
修行。俺ってばもっと強くなりてえんだ。ダメダメ。俺ってばもっともっと強くなりてえのは俺の里で一番の忍者になるため。誰かのためですか。
Mm-hmm. This is an important lesson early on.
何がおかしいんだってばよ。
Yeah, the true strength from protecting those who are precious to you.
大切な何かを守りたいと思った時、本当に強くなれるものなんです。それは俺もよくわかってるってばよ。君は強くなる。またどこかで会いましょう。
They sure did, just under bad circumstances.
俺たちを任しやがってな。俺はでかくなってんだ。名前もな。
あの橋はナルト大橋って名がついたし、今じゃ里のみんなに英雄、奇跡の少年なんて呼ばれてるよ。ナルトはおの
Yeah, it's true.
それをお前らの墓の前で誓ったんだ。あの時からぶれない立派な使徒に成長した。
It's interesting that they like are thinking about him and caring about him.
ここからが本番だ。
カシ、俺たち。
Aww. Oh God.
間違いない。
桃地ザブザとして氷遁の白。
される人間のどちらかしかない。
Yeah, this is also the first arc where like yeah, like the whole like tools and losing your emotions and all that as a shinobi come into play.
どうしてお前はあんな奴のために。大切な人の夢を叶えたいんです。必要とされない悲しみがわかりますか。僕を必要としてくれているんです。僕を好んで必要としてくれた。嬉しかった。良いことだけがこの世にいていいっていう理由なのかよ。
Dude, ZABUZA's one looks crazy. So is he killing their personality here?
もう一度僕たちを。
Yeah, you can tell their hearts aren't in this at all.
ザブザさんの道具として。
Yeah, now you're being someone else's tool.
ザブザさんもこの術にかけられているということは、その時僕があなたからザブザさんを守り。
You did, actually.
ザブザさんを守るどころか、ザブザさんの道具にもなれない。
Yeah, you gave your life for him. God, that part was so sad, dude. I really liked HAKU.
君はザブザを守ったんだ。彼が死んだのはもっと別の理由。
It's gonna make me cry, dude.
し余計なことをベラベラと。
ザブザの心の奥を浮き彫りにしたのさ。
あいつはお前のことが本当に好き
I still can't believe Haku's a dude, man.
とは言いますか。
Like, look at those luscious lips. It's like I got lip gloss on.
本当に強くなれるものなんです。本当に何とも思わねえのかよ。本当にお前は何とも思わねえのかよ。僕は忍びになりきる。強くなったらどうなっちまうのかよ。お前のために命を捨てたんだぞ。自分の夢見れねえで道具として死ぬなんて辛すぎるってばよ。
小僧、それ以上何も言うな。
Mad goosebumps. Breaking into their humanity, man.
あいつは優しすぎた。
Oh, I miss the land of waves.
結局はお前の言う通りだった。
Shinobi lives matter, man.
情のない道具にはなれないのかもな。
They ain't just a bunch of tools.
お前たちは手を出すな。
Oh, him just fighting everyone with just the knife in his mouth was crazy.
こんな時期に吐くよ。泣いているのか。ずっとそばにいたんだ。せめて最後もお前のそばで。
Kakashi's supposed to put him there.
死んでもお前と一緒にいてえな。
いられるさ、ザブザ。二人一緒に。
No, and here we are. Little piece of shit. Freaking snake.
ないとしつこいね。まだ縛りきれないとは。今にただの殺戮人形にしてあげるよ。
どんな手を使っても止めろ。死んだ。人間として死んだんだ。
It died Shinobi, he died human.
分かってるよ。
Explosion style. Oh no.
長倉結界限界尺トンの使い手ハクラです。
It's all very specialized. Hidden miss jutsu, Kekai Genkai?
監視忍者を中心に戦闘隊を組め。
I don't really remember ZABUZA having a Kekai Genkai.
の陣を基本としろ。音だけでターゲットの位置をつかむ。
霧が濃くなって視界が悪すぎる。
さくらさん、怖がらなくても大丈夫です。でも守り抜きますから。
前回はこの陣の死角である中央から攻撃してきたの。背中にも気をつけて。
任せてください。はい。霧の次は冷気。
Oh my god.
始まった。
さすがオロチ
So
マル
he
さ
was
ん
able to extract it from her.
不要のコントロール札を上書きできるとはね。しかし追い込むつもりで感情をわざと残し
Bro was so sadistic.
心の変化で魂が昇天してしまう。今度は感情を殺して縛り切る。今のところそれができる駒の数はわからない。データをこの戦争で取っていくか。命令を守る縛りぐらいで、あとは勝手にさせておこう。感情を残しておいた方が有利になる奴らはいるだ。
Yeah, bro. That must be the sand one, right?
弱頭過剰殺。
Like burns them from the inside.
爆闘地雷剣。
Oh no.
この場ズムジ戦戦場では仲間が死ぬ。
Yeah.
そして来い。乱すと余計仲間。
More realities of war.
大丈夫よ。
敵の連携と手の内が分かってきた。今度はこっちからだ。
相手のペースを作らせるほど僕は甘くないよ。
口寄せの術。
Man, how are they gonna unbind these souls, bro? That was just more reinforcements.
まさかここまで。
Oh god.
忍び方の七人
Oh, jeez. Oh yeah, the one dude who had the what Semihata or whatever the sword is that Kasami had, the former one. Recognize him. Dude, crazy man. Cool seeing flashbacks to the Land of Waves, seeing some of it reanimated and whatnot. I could see some people maybe being a little annoyed because it obviously is, well, maybe not obviously, maybe they had some flashbacks in the manga, but it feels a little fillerish to me. But I don't know, I always say in these moments, because this happens in One Piece a lot too, like if it makes sense to kind of flashback to kind of like hammer back in the way you felt at that time or the themes at that time, then it makes sense to do those. I felt like it made sense here. Maybe could have been leaned down a little bit, but honestly, I don't really have many complaints. So, you know, I love Haku and Zaku. I think Haku and ZABUZA. Yeah, man, Lane of Waves was definitely the first arc. I mean, it's the first arc in Naruto as a whole, but it's like the first arc where I started to love the show already, especially with ZABUZA and HAKU. I think that part of the arc was really, really well done. And Naruto's like little speech about HAKU and his humanity and all this that broke through ZABUZA, that part was so good, man. I wish they had played the piano. I think it's Tears of Sorrow. I think that's what it's called. I wish they played that again. That part was so good when it snowed back in that arc. Oh, so well done. All right, y'all, let's go and get in the review section for 264 and 265. Yeah, a lot of good dialogue here explaining some of the different power systems. Always fun to get, you know, kind of more fleshed out here in terms of the power system in Naruto. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the author has always done such a good job of like slowly incrementing the power system and keeping it grounded at the same time. You know, setting boundaries around certain powers. Like we see that with the tailed beast mode, for example, and how it's not just as simple as, all right, Naruto has this tailed beast chakra and he can just use it anytime without any repercussions or consequences. No, we get explained that, hey, you know, while you're taking the Nine Tails chakra, yours takes a backseat and the Nine Tail kind of starts taking yours. It's like a give and take kind of system here. And until you actually tame your tailed beast, you kind of have to have this exchange of chakra between each other, and there's obviously risk with that if the Nine Tail takes too much, and limitations with like not being able to use shadow clones, which is obviously huge for Naruto, where he's somebody who uses shadow clones extensively in his skill set, right? It's like one of his main wiabilities that he can use because he has so much chakra, and that's always been an advantage for him. But even like using that for Rasengan, right? And the Wind Shuriken as well. Yeah, like it is a pretty big handicap for him, but he's able to kind of get around this, even though he can't get into the tailed beast, you know, transformation mode like B does a lot, kind of like morphing in and out of the tailed beast with all the tentacles coming out, everything. Seems like Naruto's not really at that point yet, and so he can't use this tailed beast bomb, which is one of like the first, I guess, abilities you can use in that form, kind of using the change of chakra form to kind of spew out a bunch of chakra into a big blob and just throw it up. And we see, obviously we've seen the Nine Tail do that quite a bit when he's taken over Naruto at different points in this series. But it seems like that Naruto has found a workaround where he can use the Nine Tails, you know, kind of hands, like he was practicing recently, and be able to try to use the tailed beast bomb in his own way. Once again, kind of him finding creative ways to do it because he's used, you know, has learned Rasengan with his shadow clones. Now, even though he doesn't have the shadow clones, he can use the hands. And it's not just a simple Rasengan anymore, it's the tailed beast chakra, which is obviously even more intense. But man, did that look like it would cause a lot of damage. So cool that Naruto's starting to learn that, obviously, as a way to go, but even though he can't get into that full tail beast form, which I assume he will eventually, he'll have to find some way to tame the Nine Tail or to integrate more, you know, more cleanly with it. But at this point, it seems like he's still going to be able to do quite a bit with this Nine Tails chakra mode in itself, and kind of be able to work around it, which I think has always been a really unique way of showing Naruto's skills, is even though he has a lot of weaknesses in his technical acumen, he makes up for it through some creativity. And I've always really appreciated that about the way Naruto's written as a character. Let's go ahead and get in the character ratings, and we'll talk about a few more things here. So for MVP, I'm gonna give it to Kabuto, man. I think, you know, the scene with him explaining the reanimation jutsu a bit more thoroughly, kind of answering a lot of my open questions I've had. Seems like I've been on the right track mostly with how the reanimation jutsu works, but just the fact that it's such a crazy strong jutsu, it doesn't have a lot of downsides to it. Maybe there's a lot of like setup work you need to do with collecting the DNA of the bodies, which was confirmed here, you know, collect the blood or, you know, some personal identifying information, you know, DNA basically. Yeah, you got to go grave robbing. Kabuto's been in a lot of graves, and he himself even said, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Like, I'm sure he probably thought, oh, I found this famous shinobi, and then it ended up being probably some normal ass person or something. But yeah, it was cool getting, you know, reanimation explained. You know, you need the DNA of the person you want to reanimate. You need a sacrifice. He has that whole scroll and everything. You know, he kind of confirms that even if you kill the Jutsu user of the reanimation Jutsu, that the reanimated people themselves don't die in that scenario. You literally have to you know, manipulate them with the genjutsu to, you know, use certain chakra forms to actually release the jutsu, or you have to seal them away, as we've seen before. And even the change of heart, but the change of heart thing that kind of attaches the soul to this world doesn't seem like it's going to be able to be used often unless Kabuto allows their personality to kind of stay intact, which we obviously see him starting to take a step back from doing that with like ZABUZA and HAKU. So really cool seeing the dynamic between Madara and Kabuto too. Is funny. I didn't watch these ones with Bethany yet, but I was watching the last ones, and every time Madara and Kabuto going on screens, she's like, man, Madara is gonna kill Kabuto at some point, no matter what. He hates Kabuto. And you can see that here. He really doesn't trust him. He knows that Kabuto's kind of self-interested. He's kind of playing his hands and stuff, and in this case, he makes Kabuto tell him the secrets of this, and you kind of tell that they are, you know, trying to one-up each other along the way. So really interesting dynamic with their two characters too here. For the best moment, I'm gonna give that to ZABUZA and really Haku as well. It's them two together. Really loved seeing them in when their personalities were intact, and obviously seeing Kakashi talking about how Sakura has grown, and even though Naruto's out there, they both ask about Naruto and, you know, are curious about where he's at, you know, how he's grown up, what kind of shinobi he is. And I just love how they care about learning about Naruto, and Kakashi tells about the Great Naruto Bridge and the fine shinobi he's grown into, how he, you know, came up with his ninja way after his fight, how he pledged it after his fight above their graves. Yeah, just like the impact in ZABUZA and HAKU on Naruto as a shinobi is just so important, and you see that just through the flashbacks here and what Haku taught Naruto about protecting those who are precious to you, bring out your true power. You know, before that, it was a lot around Naruto just want to gain power for people to acknowledge him. You know, somewhat of a, not super, I don't want to say superficial, but not as in depth as, you know, using it to protect, you know, somebody who really is important to you, and how that's a more meaningful and fulfilling thing and will probably drive you or motivate you for a much longer amount of time than just people's acknowledgement. If it's just people's acknowledgement, Naruto probably would have lost all his motivation at this point, or he might not have been able to deal with a lot of the pain that came along the way in a lot of his conflicts he had, like Jiraiya dying, facing Nagato, or Pain himself. So just love seeing all of that kind of driven back home once again. I love ZABUZA and HAKU. I think the whole narrative about shinobis being used as tools, and we saw that with the first time with ZABUZA and HAKU. You know, ZABUZA using HAKU as a tool, but then in reality there's a deep down human connection there that Naruto helped ZABUZA get in touch with before he dies, and he chooses to die as a human. He chooses to not to die as a tool, but to die as a human, and can be with HAKU, you know, in heaven, supposedly here. So, and obviously we see that theme continuing with people having to stuff down their emotions in this war. You know, there's no space for your humanity in war. A lot of times you have to put, you know, the death of your comrades in the back of your mind. We see Kabuto obviously using so many shinobi as tools with the reanimation jutsu, and just how tragic that really is. For the funniest moment or funniest character, I'm gonna give it to Naruto, specifically when he tries to turn into the tail beast form and he turns into that like little mini Ninetale. That was really cute. And then for the Sako, I'll also give it to Kabuto as well, even though he is probably the most important character or player, or has the most powerful jutsu going on right now. it's also like this the saddest and the most sadistic too. You know, seeing it on ZABUZA and HAKU especially right now is pretty sad. And you know, we get flashes to Asuma and Don, and you just know there's gonna be more really awful moments with these reanimated people kind of having to face people that they care about. And yeah, dude, he's just sadistic with, you know, choosing the certain personalities to maintain or the emotions to maintain. He, you know, he really is trying to use that as a competitive advantage here. He does not give a shit. And man, after he consumes the Orochimaru's chakra from Anko, right, he looks even more sadistic, and he's got more control over it too. So not a good sign for us. But yeah, y'all, I'm enjoying the start of this war so far. I'd say it's a little different than I was expecting. I mean, with all the reanimation, you know, techniques or the reanimated corpses coming in, I guess it makes a lot more sense that we're getting like a little bit more, I don't want to say small, but still, you know, smaller in scale confrontations. And I think that makes more sense for it. But, you know, kind of at the start with the huge armies, I kind of thought we were just going to get a big clash, but obviously that's inevitable. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that soon as well. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this reaction and review, what your favorite moments would have been, what your favorite character moments were. Appreciate y'all joining me today, and I hope you have a really good rest of your day and a good week, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.